We continue with our rolling coverage outside the City Hall in Cape Town as we count down towards the State of the Nation address. We're joined by Deputy Minister of Transport, Nkululeko Plenkwa from the IFP. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
An absolute pleasure. Good afternoon and to the listeners. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for joining us. In your Ministry of Transport, tell us what are the challenges, what are the current developments in this particular ministry?
Well, obviously, we have to deal with road infrastructure. We need to decongest the roads. If you look at the amount of heightened traffic that we have in so far as logistics, it points to a need for the road to rail and air freight outlook to be a priority for us. And so from an infrastructure point of view, we believe that there's more work that needs to be done. In road infrastructure, we need to continue the work of PRASA, particularly of opening up the strategic lines. 31 of the 40 priority lines have already been reopened, and we anticipate to open more lines in the remaining parts of this financial year and continue doing that. Transnet remains a key strategic focus for us from a logistics point of view, and it's about creating coherence in our ports. Of course, there's also then the social realities around transportation, which is road safety. We're losing 12,000 lives on our roads every year, and so we do need to meet the United Nations targets, and our assessment is that our strategy needs to shift towards driver behavior because it's a major contributory factor to the lives we're losing. In the festive season, we lost some 1,502 lives out of 1,234 accidents, and the assessment that we have is that drinking and driving, drinking and walking, particularly jaywalking, we're in about 41 to 44% of all fatalities is actually arising because of pedestrians. It's pedestrians whom we are losing, and so public education about where you cross, where you walk, how to dress, amongst others. So our outlook is that we are reviewing the National Road Safety Strategy to sort of respond to these challenges, work with civil society, work with the media to keep a consistent message. Also, we have done a strategic redeployment of the National Traffic Police throughout the country, and that is why you saw a reduction in the fatalities in the top 20 problematic roads of old, because those are roads that we had identified to be a major contributory factor. We deployed some 860 National Traffic Police on those routes, and it was successful. But obviously there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And then of course finally is to say that the aviation space and the maritime space require our consistent and persistent attention, and I believe that the Minister is doing great work in that area. We have been able to resolve the jet fuel challenges at our airports. We are putting in new measures in the air traffic navigation systems to ensure heightened and secure safety of air travel. So the challenges, we have found them to be there with the Minister, but she's providing the necessary strategic direction, and she has my full support as we navigate these issues, and I believe that we'll be able to turn the corner. And there's quite a number of announcements that the President will make tonight about some of the things that the Department of Transport and our entities will have to do moving forward.
You spoke about the decongesting of the roads and the new corridors open in terms of PRASA, and that with all of that we will have significant alleviation of cargo being transported on roads. But in the interim, there's many traffic or accidents that occur with huge trucks on the road. What can be done about that, and what is the plan in this regard? The long-term plan is obviously to get to transport that cargo via the rail system.
Well, road safety remains a daily reality. Every life lost is a problem. That's why we have employed the Edward campaign, Every Day Without a Road Accident, which we believe is an important aspect. And so whether you're speaking about trucks, buses, taxis, or just ordinary vehicles and pedestrians, we do need to heighten our safety campaigns. And secondly, there is a close working relationship that we're having with the trucking industry now to find ways and means about the safety of the commute of cargo. There are quite a number of areas which require attention. The fatigue of drivers, amongst others, is of critical importance, and so we are encouraging that every 200 kilometers, every 2 hours, the drivers rest, and we are moving towards making that mandatory if we have to. For the drivers. It is also about heightened policing and patrolling on the major highways where these trucks are, to ensure that there's compliance, and then of course about ensuring the roadworthiness of the trucks that are on the roads and taking them off the roads. And this is something we successfully did over the festive season, and will continue doing, removing trucks, vehicles and buses off the roads that are not roadworthy. So the trucking safety issues forms part and parcel of the broader safety outlook we are employing for the country.
The issue of the jet fuel that you spoke about, and that the issues have been resolved, and how do we ensure that we don't have a similar situation again in the future?
Well, I mean, there is a global shortage of jet fuel generally, and so we need to ensure that our reserves in themselves are in place. Secondly, we do need to beef up the infrastructure for the country to be able to meet the demands insofar as refineries are concerned, and it is also about forward planning. Above and beyond, of course, as we improve the volumes of aircrafts coming in and leaving the country, as we boost tourism, and of course this is the year of G20, which means we will have heightened travel in the country, is about forward planning. And so the work that ACSA and other entities and the sector and the industry need to do is to collaborate with the efforts that we are putting in place to ensure that we have fuel. Above and beyond, of course, is about the pooling and sharing of resources amongst all the airports in the country. And so it is important, therefore, that the work that we are doing also finds expression in the discipline of travel and maintenance at our various airports, so that we can secure the jet fuel. So that will continue to be work, and as and when the volumes of travel change, we will be in a position to meet those demands.
What can we expect from the President in terms of transport this evening? What will you be anticipating in this regard?
Well, we've given the Presidency a very comprehensive submission insofar as what we believe is important, consistent with the medium-term development plan, which is a consolidation of the manifestos of the political parties represented in the GNU. And so what is left is now for the President to see how he places those in the SONA. But we are quite confident that the transport remains an important pillar of economic growth, development and sustainability, and so it will have the due focus of the President this evening. What is important for us will be to then meet the targets that the President will set to us, consistent with the plans that we have. Obviously, it's about going back to basics first, ensuring that there's coherence in the entire transportation ecosystem. It's about ensuring that the policy certainty is provided in terms of investment, in terms of infrastructure, and bringing in new players, the PSP units amongst others, and generally functionality in municipalities, just to ensure that we deal with the issues of potholes and regular maintenance, and that provinces are able to utilize the grants that we give them effectively and efficiently.
From your perspective, being the representative of the IFP in the GNU, how has the GNU been working?
No, the GNU has been working very well, and I think that the differences that have arisen are necessary in the kind of new construct that we have. They certainly would be an ignorance to assume that bringing in 10 parties of various manifestos, various political outlook and persuasion, histories, constructs and outlooks, that immediately there would be coherence. And so what is of critical importance is that the GNU clearinghouse mechanism mechanism holds the center insofar as ensuring that where there's policy differences, we are in a position to resolve that so we can provide the necessary strategic direction for the GNU to function. So the name of the game remains fundamentally collaboration and cooperation and consultation, and the president has to be committed to that. He needs to live that and he needs to actualize it so that his own government can actually succeed. And what we have seen over the past few weeks, where there's been a unilateral of signing of bills into acts which do not enjoy the full support of the GNU partners, is to the detriment of the GNU1, but above and beyond for the president himself, where instead of actually implementing practical solutions, he has to put out fires, and every day counts and he's losing time.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Go
Take
well.
care. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.